Start recording. Okay. First of all, good evening from Philippines. Currently, it's 10:28 p.m. on October 16, 2025. Right now, I think our technical analysis is getting pretty good. We're now able to look for confirmation confluences from a change of character or even continuation confluences. But sometimes these continuation confluences are not really on par, or like for example this downward movement. Before we go to here are two of the trades I took today. To be honest, this strategy might be something that we could look into and going back into our funded account. So what I did earlier, I was doing my Wadwani certifications for clearance. I set up an alarm right above here. So as you can see, I set up an alarm halfway here, and upon zooming in, I saw this change of character. First of all, I saw this trend line break, not really the break, but the higher low, the lower high, which might suggest a change of character. So after that, I did mark out the uptrend, then I marked out the downtrend. This confirms the lower low, and upon looking at this, when I look at this trade or this price action, I already saw this 5 minute break of structure. But I did saw this order block, thankfully with Lux ICT toolkit. I saw this order block, 5 minute order block right here. Obviously, the price is suspecting this order block. But again, I saw this IFVG. So this is a fair value gap, and it got passed, and price broke through it. So now it's an IFVG acting as support. So what I did was I back tested a bit. I checked for how price moved after, or how price moved during a bearish movement. For example, looking up if 5 minute is a reliable entry. For example, look at this guy. This guy was a 5 minute break of structure. I mean, this was an uptrend, a small uptrend, and this guy was a bit of a 5 minute break of structure. Also, this guy was a bit of 5 minute break of structure, and this guy is also a 5 minute break of structure. But did price rally downwards? Not really. So, considering that from an uptrend, a 5 minute break of structure is not that reliable. So that's why we need to add more confluences. So upon knowing that, I look at the 15-minute time frame. I look at the 15-minute time frame, and down here, this was a 15-minute low. As you can see, this is marked out. I put down an alarm here if price caused this um, price cross this level. Initially, I mean, it already did wick there, so it respected the order block a bit, but I still set up alarm. So as the alarm went off, I checked trading view. Then what do you know? Even the order block got passed, or like this happened. The 15-minute break of soccer. This candle closed, and additionally, this order block got passed. So what happens when an order block gets passed? That's already a breaker block, which could act as a resistance, or I mean a support towards our bearish movement. So I did enter here. I didn't really initiate my entry. I didn't really initiate my entry on my demo account, but I just did it on trading view. As per Roger, my mentor, he said this was just a front test, what you call a front test. So I put my stop loss above this breaker block, and then I put up my high first on this 30-minute low, but I did extend it before even the price went here. Upon knowing that this 30-minute low is close to the 1 hour low, so I did set this up, and I also marked out this order block, which is the last downwards movement before the upwards movement, because this is a 5 minute order block from our 1 hour low. So I did that. I put my stop loss above this breaker block, and I put my take profit um, within that order block or around that 1 hour low. As you can see, initially price rejected here, so somewhere around this level. I'm not certain, but maybe there's an order block here. We could look that into that later on. But yeah, there was no rejection or like a bearish bullish candle in this trade. If I did look at this was 2.6 RR, so our confluences are 5-minute break of structure, which was this guy. This allowed us to look at this chart. A 15-minute break of structure, a trend break. Here's a trend break, and here's also a lower high. And there's an IFVG here, a small IFVG, but that's still something that you can trust for a confirmation confluence. And also this one is a huge one, the order block got passed, which was a 5-minute order block, and now it acted as breaker block. As you can see, it really acted as a breaker block. As price tried to go upwards, but it rejected. Um, I did put alarm on this. I put an alarm here on this 15-minute break of structure, and also an alarm here below the order block. So that's what got us into the trade. Actually, initially, I was trying to look if price would go up and touch this order block again, but it did reject here, so I just decided to put my entry here below this order block, below that breaker block. So I wrote here take profit on 30-minute liquidity, but I did move it downwards for 2.6 RR. Um, Initial rejection here, there was an initial rejection, 1-minute rejection. Might be because of this 30-minute break order block, but price did go lower uh, and hit our full TP. So as you can see, there was a bullish candle here. So what I did was I marked out that bullish candle. I mean, already had a trade like this before, in which I showed Roger or mentor. Um, so yeah, there was this high right here. So while I was taking my lunch, I did put an alarm right here. Um, so I waited for a 5-minute candle close, but I'm not sure. We could test this out. Maybe we could trust, for example, this was a 5-minute high, right? This was a 5-minute high. So maybe oh no, never mind that. But my point was, even for example, a 1-minute break of structure right here, a 1-minute candle close from this 5-minute high right here might be something that we could enter on, because this upward movement right here is maybe hindering us from having a greater stop loss, better stop loss, and um, greater RR and PNL. So initially, as this trade was going on, yeah, I was finishing my certificate. So as you can see, zooming in, we did have a candle close on the 5-minute chart right here. As that candle closes, and this candle continued to go up higher, showing bullish momentum, I did enter right there. Maybe sometimes on the trade you can look for price to go to dip here, the order block again, but okay. As you can see here, it didn't happen here, so we just entered on this 5-minute break of structure in this continuation right here. So as we entered, I did mark out some things. So first of all, there wasn't a fair value gap here. I did mark out this bearish 1-minute order block. Where's that from? Finish bearish order block. This is bearish 1-minute order block. So this upward movement was the last upward movement before this mini downtrend right here. And again, on this guy, towards the downward movement, it created a fair value gap, an imbalance, and a lack of buy. So what did price do upon hitting this order block, somewhat hitting this order block or something? It did rally upwards, quick. This fair value gap initially, then price started here also rejected downwards, as you can see, because of this fair value gap, but ultimately did close upwards. So this guy is now an IFVG. So this acts as a support right now for our bullish bias. Um, and here also in the 5 minute chart, there was a 5 minute break of structure right here. And upon looking on the 1 minute, if you look at the 1 minute right here, this candle wick down here, which excuse me, excuse my burp. So this might indicate an order block. So an order block is where price enters, or where price typically goes back into for demand and supply of price. I think that's what it means. We need to refine that, not gonna lie. So yeah. So this 5 minute fair value gap was not just an order block, a fair value gap, but was also an order block. So um and as you know it, a fair value gap, how small it is, could be a continuation confirmation. And since we're trading gold, our bias is bullish. Typically in gold, a fair value gap typically just wicks a bullish fair value gap. But for example, this bearish fair value gap, it does close upwards, which means it acts as support. So again, we're already on this fair value gap. There's a bit of consolidation because there was a 5 minute bearish order block right here, and we have this breaker block, which was the order block initially here. So what's happening? As price tries to go upwards, it then goes downwards because of this 5 minute bearish order block. Then as price tries to go downwards because of because of this breaker block acting as support, price tends to go upwards. We can see this in the 1 minute 1 minute candle, right? 1 minute chart. Um, I did put conso pinball, so price has to move upwards, but because of this 5 minute bearish order block, we go downwards. Because of this support of the breaker block, go upwards again, downwards, upwards, downwards. Yeah, so that's it. What did I mark out again? After that, after that consolidation initially, price did fill out this fair value gap right here. So price moved downwards a bit, filled out this fair value gap. I did mark this out, and I think I close upon this candle right here. I close point zero two of my trade. I was in a 0.05 trade with the 70 loss, 1 is 3 RR 240. Yep. Um, so I said right here, IFVG dangerous, but we're sticking to our bias. I said. So what happened here? Price attracted back again, and then hit this IFVG, which is a support. So as you can see, as price tries to move higher, it then got rejected because of this support right here, or like resistance right there, because of that IFVG. And now, there was an order block right here, right? Because of the upwards movement before this mini downwards movement. So that is now a bearish order block. So as you can see, as price tries to move here, it's getting lower. It's moving downwards a bit. So again, because of this resistance right here, price rejects, even though we have a bullish bias, and then ultimately it then went down here again. Maybe because of this order block. Oh, I didn't mark that out. Obviously, we're not gonna mark everything right here, but only the initial happenings of this trade. So there was this guy. Um, can use rectangle for a while. What happened? So because of this upwards movement, downwards movement before the upwards movement. So that is the order block. So I think the order block is. Wait, why is that failed? The order block is this guy. Downwards movement before the upwards movement. I think I did mark this out. I just removed it. you can see, price then went into this and consolidated because of this ceiling right here or resistance, and because of the support right here. But it did broke here because there was this fair value gap order block. Um, I did something wrong here, to be honest. I mean, I heard something from the Albert Einstein of Wall Street that sometimes what does is he puts his stop loss on break even or on a gain, and he partially closes. So that way, even though the trade doesn't go in his favor, he does earn a bit of cash, or a bit of a win. Call that a mini win. It's not so. It's not a loss. So what I did, I put my stop loss below this order block fair value gap, and what do you know? It got wicked. Maybe it was somewhere around here. Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. You can mark it out right here. Yeah, we got wicked. And since this was an order block fair value gap, price, as you can see, this is a bullish order block. It got respected. Price did rally upwards, and it ultimately hit our TP. So in summary, these strategy, these confluences, this approach is something that we could apply upon going back into this funded account, because we did blow out our 8K funded account, which was not a large amount of money, but it's a substantial amount of money considering current status right now. Mm. So yeah, we could backtest this strat, this downwards movement, and backtest other hurdles that might hinder our biases. So we could backtest this strat, this short, then this big long. For the long, for now at least, we could only, I think we could stick to the 20 pips higher to the current all-time high. So you can see, this was 20 pips higher. But knowing gold, this will just go rally higher. Yeah, so that's it. That's my trade. We did we did actually win both of our trades, and I'm still on a swing trade, which is garnering us about 260 right now on our demo account. I think maybe next week we do buy a funded account, a 5K funded account, as per Roger's advice, because I have a budget for 3 5K funded accounts or 2 8K funded accounts. So his advice was stick to 1K 5K 1 5K funded account, and if I did pass the challenge there, then that's a bonus. But if I lose it, I mean, we still have two chances for a 5K funded account, and that's a very valid advice. We could test this again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Right now it's just Thursday. I think I don't really have an agenda tomorrow. Maybe just finish our course coordinators requirements and the other clearance that we need to set up. Yeah, so I think that's a video for now. This is just a journal video for me, not really posting for someone else. Maybe you could learn a bit of your. I mean, the confluences here are working how it should be, but I'm learning gold. I don't know in other assets or pairs that's how it works. Maybe next time we could look into other things, maybe Nasdaq or Bitcoin USD, even Forex, GBP USD or JPY USD. I don't know. We could look into that next time. For now, we're gonna be focusing on gold, like Azir, how I made Azir in League. Yeah, so that's a video. We're gonna wrap it up right there. We got 2 wins for today. Hopefully, we get another setup like that tomorrow. And hopefully, once we get our funded account, another funded account, we don't get FOMO. Let's look at this guy, man. I where was that guy? Here. I had FOMO here on our funded account. FOMO, I entered here on a bit of 10 pip short. I mean, it did hit half of our trade. This RR was 1 is to 3. If this was 1 is to 1.4, I mean, I wouldn't take that. That would be something. But I think we should learn, especially in this ATH, learn equilibrium or Fibonacci retracement so we could have a cleaner close as per others' advice. As you can see, we had FOMO here. If we only entered here on this long, that would have been very good for us. I also executed a buy order and it didn't fill out. Price just rallied higher. So key points for today. For shorts, many confluences is nice, and for longs, a low time frame, a high time frame liquidity sweep, and a low time frame break of stock short, change of character, and other confirmation. There's something that you can use for change of character from downside movement. I think that's it. Thank you for watching this video. I don't care who's watching. This is for myself. Bye bye.